Yesterday, the NFL announced it will require players to either stand on the field or remain in the locker room during the playing of the national anthem. And today, numerous reports said that instead of kneeling during the anthem, NFL players are now already planning new ways to protest. The ever-patriotic editorial board of the New York Times helpfully suggested players raise black-gloved fists in the air. President Trump thinks it's important that all players respect the anthem.
I don't think people should be staying in locker rooms, but still, I think it's good. You have to stand proudly for the national anthem. Well, you shouldn't be playing. You shouldn't be there. Maybe you shouldn't be in the country. You have to stand proudly for the national anthem. And the NFL owners did the right thing if that's what they've done.
Love it or leave it, baby. I'm sorry. I thought that was hilarious. Should alternative player protests be tolerated? Let's debate that with former NFL star, author of the new book, Why I Stand, From Freedom to the Killing Fields of Socialism, Burgess Owens, and Democratic strategist Antoine Seawright. Let's go to you, Antoine. Look, I think a lot of players are kind of tired of this whole controversy. I bet if you really talk to them, they just want to play football, enjoy the game that they, most of them are paid a decent amount of money to play. But nevertheless, it's bubbled up again. Why a new round of protests to drag the NFL through yet another season of discontent?
Well, I think that most people have forgotten why we even having this conversation. The truth of the matter is this started because there were NFL players who believed that at the hands of law enforcement, black and brown people in this country have been mistreated, mishandled, and killed, and they feel like it's wrong. And they have the ability, based on one of the hallmarks of our democracy, to peacefully protest, and they started this movement. That has gotten lost in the conversation. Instead, the conversation has been about President Trump. Instead of focusing on being president of the United States, he wants to tell NFL players what they do and how they should do their jobs. And,
well, I mean, they have an opinion. I don't know. I think that's fair, Antoine. I mean, NFL players have their opinion, and the president is like, you should stand for the anthem. I mean, everyone's kind of having a give and take here. And when you're a football player, you're not. You also are subject to the rules of the NFL. The owners do write the rules. The Players Association has their say. And Burgess Owens, I mean, obviously as a former player yourself, you know the rules of the game are the rules of the game, and the owners set the rules. And they were getting tired of the lower attendance and the public upset over this, even though, as you pointed out, they're trying to go global.
Can I just say something real quick? I'm going to bring in a different flavor to this thing, guys, because it takes a lot of hard work to take 60 years of building a brand the way the NFL has done, 14 million fans, to mess it up within 2 years where they have. It either is based on total incompetence, feckless leadership, or it's done on purpose. And I think it's done on purpose, to be honest with you. You have a commission that's been paying $40 million a year. 90% of that is based on growth incentive. What we're looking at is elitist globalists. Their focus right now, NFL does not mind this chaos. They don't mind demeaning the American flag, tarnish the American brand, because they're looking at international. There's 10 international countries out there, China, France, Germany, that could care less about the American way. And that's where they see their billions of dollars being made.
And why would they change the rule, though, Burgess? Why would they change the rule? If they're worried about the global brand, you're right. Over in Europe, they don't care if people stand for the national anthem, or in China, they're not going to care about that. But the base of the money is still in the United States.
Well, that's
where they make their bread and butter, correct?
This is the deal. The rule says very simply this: you can stay in the locker room if you want to protest, which you mean you're protesting, or if you're standing on the sideline, the team pays the fine. So we're keeping this whole conversation. We're still talking about this. The NBA has not been talking about this for the last 2 years, because they made a decision that their players will respect the corporation, they will respect the flag. So
yeah, that's a good point.
You don't see anything happening in the NBA. But we're still having this conversation. We'll continue.
Antoine, that's a great point, that the NBA doesn't have this problem because they have a rule that you stand for the anthem and you respect the playing of the national anthem, correct? I mean, there was a great piece in the ESPN about this, that the NBA hasn't gotten into this problem.
Laura and Burgess, a little note of fact, the same day this ruling came down by NFL owners, by the way, who did not have an NFLPA representative in the room when they made this decision, the same day this came down, a video was released by the Milwaukee Police Department in which an NBA player was tased over a parking violation. Keep in mind, we're having this conversation again because African Americans and black and brown people are 5 times as more likely to be injured or killed at the hands of law enforcement.
Antoine, what does that have to do with the football game?
Yeah. And
That's not
has a lot to do with it. Lord, these people are
then write an op-ed, Antoine.
Football players.
Right, write an op-ed. Go. A lot of them volunteer and have great charities. That's fantastic. But people tune in.
And
now,
under
Antoine,
the First
hold on.
Amendment,
People
they have the
tune
ability
in
to peacefully
to watch
protest.
Let me tell you
the
what.
game.
Let
They
me tell you
don't
the way this
care about
works.
your political views. I hate to tell you, they don't care, Burgess.
Well,
If they don't
there's
care,
something,
then
there's
why
something
does
the
the
left does
president
very,
decide to
very
weigh in
well.
on the
It's
subject?
Hold on,
called
one at a
use,
time, then I'll get back
abuse.
to you.
It's something the left does: use, abuse, and discard. And what the
wanna make this about the left
NFL
versus the
plan
right
is doing
versus
right
left?
now
Hold on,
is using the
Antoine,
American.
hold on.
Antoine, how about respect, my friend? Why don't you listen for a few minutes? What the NFL is doing is using the American fan to become billionaires. They're then abusing them with every single Sunday sharing this ideology of Marxism, socialism, and they're going to discard them for international foreign fans. At the end of the day, they're looking at billions of dollars in a new market, and all this is doing with the new plan, it keeps this whole thing alive. We will be talking about this for the next 2 years while players are deciding how they're going to demonstrate, and we'll be talking about, and the international fans will see this.
Antoine.
Burgess, let me remind you, you look like me, my friend. You look like me.
And I'm American. I look like a lot of other Americans. I am an American first, my friend.
Are you going to let me finish my point, or are you going to try to talk over me? People who look like us have it 5 times more likely to experience being mishandled at the hands of law enforcement than any other race in this country.
75%.
That's why these players are taking a kneel. That's why they're taking a stand. And I commend them for their effort. I'm sorry, this president tried to make this a red meat campaign issue
that America comes first and we should be proud of who we are.
All right, guys.
How about we tell our kids to be proud of who we are?
Yeah, guys. And then, look, I think we all want things to be better. We want people to have jobs. We want families to be able to stay together. We want police to respect everybody. I think they generally do, but there are mistakes made. I think
absolutely
not a lot of this is going to be solved by taking a knee or wearing a black armband. But look, people can do what they want, and I think that the league is going to have to decide for itself.